Thanks for having me. It means a lot. I want everyone to, so the way I love doing this is I want to be super interactive. Does that make sense? I want to go where you need us to go. Can I move this forward?
You are free to do whatever you want. You want us to dance?
So what we're working with today really is a new normal for each and every one of you. How many people have had the stroke? Is everyone here just stroke victims? And caregivers, right? But is it stroke only? Right? And the reason I ask is because the storms that we face in our life, right? The ones that set us back could come from a lot of different directions. But I can guarantee that the people in this room that are working through the recovery of a stroke, that's not the storm you would have chosen. Am I correct?
I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
The fact is that we don't get to pick the storms that affect us. But it's something that once the storm comes, and I did a little research on strokes itself. Ian is a dear friend of mine, and when this happened to Ian, there's an eye-opening for the people around you. But can we also agree that the people don't understand us, that we're commonly misunderstood? Do you find that people distance themselves from you due to the uncomfortability of the stroke? Anytime that we're going to be positive, or if we're going to make changes, if we're going to deal with the storms in our lives, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lay the real cards on the table, right? We don't candy coat, or we don't cover up what it is and the difficulties that we're facing. And one of the hardest things for people who have gone through a stroke, other than the physical and the mental, is the people that we surround ourselves with. So, listen, this isn't going to be a church service, but I am going to tell you a story that happens to be in the Bible, but you guys are going to understand how I'm going to apply it to this, right? So there's a time when Jesus goes out he sends his 12 disciples to the other side of a lake, right? And as they're crossing over, several of these guys are fishermen, so they're used to being in a boat. But a storm comes in, and the storm is so severe that even the fishermen, who are generally at ease or in a comfortable situation in that boat, are now afraid, right? And then Jesus comes walking to them on the water, and they say, "It's a ghost." And he goes, "Do not be afraid." And then Peter, everyone knows Peter, right? He says, "If it is you, then call me out on the water." And he starts to walk towards Jesus on the water. But he takes his eyes off of Christ, and it says that he sees the wind, and he starts to sink. And Jesus takes his hand, lifts him up, and then they walk back to the boat. That's the short version of it. He says, "Ye of little faith." But the fact is, here's a little sermon on that. There was 11 other people in the boat. There was 11 other people who didn't get out of the boat. Now, I love the fact that you guys are here together. So I'm going to repaint the picture, right? They're in the middle of a storm, and Christ comes walking to them out on the water, and he says, "Do not be afraid." And then Peter says, "Hey, if that is you, Lord, then call me out on the water." But now I want John goes, "Hey, if Peter's going out on the water, I'm going to go out on the water," right? And Matthew goes, "Well, if John's going out on the water, then I'm going out on the water." And if that would have happened, come here, Ian. If that would have happened, and they were to take and lock hands, and I'm Peter and I look away, and oh, wait a minute, I'm not going to sink. Come here. Come here.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, scoot over a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, now you take his arm.
Okay.
Now, if Ian started to fall, my point being in all of this is that I want you guys, as we continue with this, to know that if one of us starts to sink, we're there to help pick him up. Never would there have been a time, thank you guys, that Peter would have had to cry out, "Save me," if the other 11 would have had the bravery to go out on the water with Peter. My point being with that is this: how fortunate you are to have people to lock arms with you that understand you. I started by talking about how you're not understood, and everybody nodded. And I think even more than the physical and the mental stuff, emotionally, the fact that you have people that you can lock arms with and wrap around is vitally important. Does that make sense? When I read up on strokes, in a good case, if there is one, your brain recovery does not start for 2 to 4 months. Is that true? Anything I say that ain't 100%? But it also says that
Start for 2 years?
For me, it didn't start.
your brain does not settle in the perfect scenario for 2 to 4 months. In a lot of cases, it's 1 to 2 years before things get to a point where recovery can start.
Yeah, because I mean, it could be like some of the information that we got. The brain is so busy trying to heal the rest of the body from whatever happened to the rest of your body
Yep.
because of the stroke, that the brain is it could be a little while before it's ready to
Basically,
heal
it
itself.
was the doctor told me it's the last thing to heal in your body because it starts to mend your bones, your muscles, your ability to move, and your ability to talk and function. And sometimes the thought process is the last part to heal in this whole equation.
So, and my point being on that, this is not a sprint at all. It is a long, hard journey that not all of us can go lay on a beach in Africa.
I had to come back.
Well, we're welcome. We're glad you're here. But the fact is that when we know that we are going to have to do a very long journey, it's important that we surround ourselves with people willing to go on that journey with us. Would we all agree on that? So, the new normal. Do you guys find that you guys are making new routines? Routines are important, yes? Would everyone agree with that? With the routine? But the only thing I know about Ian is that as soon as he has a routine down, he has to come up with a new routine. Is that also true?
It doesn't happen anymore. Once now that he has a routine, anything that's introduced that is new is now a crisis. It's
Difficult for me to
used-
handle, like things that come into the equation. I could handle them with ease before and turn on a dime and function and never miss a beat. And now it stops me dead in my tracks.
So, with that in mind, speaking of routines, because routines are important, it's a process that becomes your new normal. Is that a fair statement? Everyone understand that? It is a process that becomes your new normal. The problem with the new normal is that and my point is that there are going to be new things that need to be introduced as a new normal. Knowing the difficulty of that and the length of the journey that you all have to be on, we need to create a process that makes introduction of new events workable. How do we do that? We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But we're going to come back to all of this. I just really want to touch on it. If you were to give me a list of how the stroke, the new disability, has influenced your life, right? Is it a change of job?
Or no job.
Right?
No job. There's been positive in it too.
But no job, because basically, like we've said many times in this group, I mean, whenever you go to a place to go and seek employment, you're just treated like you're damaged goods.
And that's that outside emotional side of it, even more so than the physical and the mental. We're gonna work on that.
Even your friends will look at me, not him, and say, "Is he okay?" Like, he's here, ask him.
Right?
But they don't want to do
The one
that.
thing it has done for me is drawn me closer to God through His Word.
Hmm.
And I've gotten into His Word. One of the first things I did coming out of the stroke is I read the book of Job.
Hmm.
That's a powerful story if anybody's read it.
Well, I'm just going to tell you, I hate the book of Job. I hate it, and I hate it, and I hate it, and it brings a lot of people comfort, and I hate it. Yeah, Job is a book that I keep going. Yeah, but he was a good man. He was a righteous man, and yes, thank you for that, though. But I'm just going to let you know I hate the book of Job. I've given sermons on it. I hate the book of Job. I might even said that during my sermon.
I know prison ministry,
But what do you think of the book of Job?
No, I hate the book of Job.
I use that as, I use the book of Job to show the guys in prison. Most of them come from broken homes.
Mm-hmm.
Up until the time they were in prison, they've had no relationship with God. I use the book of Job as an example of what you can do once you get your eyes back onto God.
Here's my comfort in the book of Job, that we're here for a vapor. And while we're here for a moment in time until death comes, and we as Christians believe that there's an afterlife. But up until then, we're going to do the most we can with the time we've been given. Fair enough?
Yep.
Hey, how about your pace? Is life gotten slower or faster?
Slower.
Now, as Americans, going slow is not exactly an attribute, is it? But I want to encourage you, anything that we're saying is a negative in this storm, we're going to turn it into a positive. Is that fair too? How about pain and discomfort?
Prevalent every day.
Every day.
Sometimes there's no pain, really. I mean, Mike has not really had a lot of pain with the stroke. It's changed his life.
Did you guys start with the denial and anger?
Yep.
Right? You guys have already been through all this. I'm just going to. How about, did you guys bargain?
I tried not to.
Right?
What does that mean?
It's bargaining. It's like, hey, just take this away and I will. It's there's a point past anger where you're bargaining with yourself for acceptance, which of course comes later. How about our caregivers? Who's caregivers in here? Okay. Now I'm going to ask you guys something. When's the last time you guys have scheduled respite? Do you guys know what respite is? So I'm from the foster care community, right? So we had 42 foster kids run through our home. And there's a time where we would take a vacation or something like that. So it was a time of respite, a time of rest for me and my wife and our other kids, where we would go do something and somebody would watch the kids that were put into our care. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is as we are working through a storm, right? Because the storm happened to those who had the stroke, but it also happened to the people who are around you.
Respite was forced on us when we went to stroke camp.
There you go.
They made us.
Tell me what respite did for you.
Lori was there. I had a frickin' breakdown. You know, I really did. And here I am in the stroke, leading the stroke group, like I have all my crap together. freaking had a
I
breakdown.
don't think that was any more of a breakdown though than we all had,
Yeah,
so.
so that's what happened in respite. I mean, and also we were forced to surrender and let somebody else take care of our survivors. They didn't let us do it.
How important is that?
It was great.
I think it was vital.
It's vital. It's a time of recharging. Because what happens is with the caregivers is that we're pouring into. So we're draining of ourselves. Just call it what it really is, right? And there's a time we need to get poured into so we can continue to pour out. I'm just bringing up little things because we're going to break into little groups here in a minute. And we're going to talk about this stuff. I want, if you are the stroke survivor and you have a caregiver, you need to make sure you're putting on your calendar times when someone that you trust can come care for you, if that's necessary. There needs to be, it could be spa days, it could be going out to a movie, it could be, it has to be a time away when the weight's not being carried. Is that fair? It's not a time of guilt. This isn't to guilt anyone. It's a time when it's a gift that you give back to the person who is caring for you to make sure that they have time to have a life outside of caring for you as a victim. Is that fair? How about the stages that the caregiver went through? Is this stuff that you guys talk about regularly? Okay, because it's really important that the words, our thoughts, get formulated in the words and then they get shared with somebody who understands. Because you as a caregiver, right, as society is going to look at us and you're going to say, it's just so, I don't want to put words in anyone's mouth, but it gets so hard. Whatever those words are, someone on the outside looking in is going to be like, why is he complaining about that? Man up, right?
Yeah,
But the
my words are like, I've been doing this for 2 years.
Yep.
For some people, 2 years is not a lot of time. For me, 2 years has been a hard 2 years.
So we're going to find time to talk about it and to find respite, a time of relief. And that could be an overnight stay. I recommend that every month you do 3 days. If you can find someone to help, that it gives you a time to get away, become yourself, and for your mental stability. Does that make sense? And they're not abandoning, you can't feel guilty about doing something, because you can't, in an airplane, we're going down and the gas masks fall out of the thing, boom, right? Who puts on the gas mask first before they put it on the child? We got to be taking care of our caregivers so that we can take care of the rest. Is that coming across the right way? I hope so. So we're in the middle of storms, and if you're here, you're still going through a storm. But it has equipped you, the storms that we go through, the valleys that we go into. I had a young man, I'm going to call him, he's probably 30, that was a first responder who saw multiple children die in his care because he was first on the scene with the fire department. And he suffered from pretty severe PTSD from that. Are you with me? And there was a point where it was weighing so heavy on him that other things in his mind came to play, right? Very dark ideas. It wasn't until we had the conversation that that valley in his life, when you go down into a valley and you're facing your monsters, everyone in this room understands the monsters you have to face, right? They're dark. It's a time, because of what has happened to us, there is a darkness that comes against you, right? But while we're in that valley, for the last 2 years, you've been in that valley. But as you come out of that valley, your legs are stronger, your skin is thicker. You've developed weapons against the things that are coming against you. There's a time that you make it out of the valley mentally. If you're a stroke victim, there's a time where when you look back of where you once were to where you're at now, you feel you're out of that valley. I truly believe that we don't go through dark times or storms that we're not willing to go back into the valley to help someone who's fresh in the valley. When you have somebody new that's just gone through a stroke come into this meeting, isn't it awesome that somebody who's 2 years in can wrap their arms around them? Isn't it awesome that someone that's 5 years in can come and talk to you and wrap their arms around? Because I know where the food is in the valley. I know where the shelter is. I know how to start fires in the valley. And when I go back in to face my monsters, you know, the things that were big and they're mean and you're scary, and you go back in and you go, that's not a monster, that's a doggone kitty cat. They're not as big when you go back in and face your monsters again. It's important that you guys are more equipped because of this to be reaching out to other people. And mentally, if you're ever in a really down time, has anyone been in a down time like maybe this week? Right? Maybe today? Right? What saves you? So I work with children, youth, and family a lot. And I work with the Special Victims Unit, and I served on a board that we handled the worst of the worst cases. And I'm not even going to go that dark with you guys. The people that we can rescue out of that darkness, if I can plug them in to reach out to somebody else, the healing starts. Say that again. Well, and if you're able to pour in, thank you, that's perfect. If you're able to pour into somebody else, your healing starts. It's when we're keeping it, we can't keep our knowledge, what we've experienced, to ourselves. We have to share it with other people. It's super important. Veterans. So Dave Eubank is with the Free Burma Rangers, and he was 10th Special Forces. One of my heroes. Funny enough, when I was at Camp Bullis, he was there as my captain, and I was a nobody, and we never met, but we were there at the same time. In fact, there's memories that I think I saw him when I was there. But remember, this was my stance, and he was strutting around. But it's the Free Burma Rangers, so he goes into Miramar, and he trains up people. He takes people that have seen their families murdered, burned, their farms, and then they went out in the jungle. He gathers them up, and he trains them how to be soldiers and protect themselves. All of that to be said, I was having a private meeting with him, and I said to him, hey, so do your men, and women, by the way, suffer from PTSD? Because our American soldiers, we have a lot of PTSD. Everyone's familiar with this, right? And he says, my crew doesn't suffer from PTSD. Now, just so you know, I think that's a slight exaggeration, but let me tell you what he said. He said, because they have a mission to help somebody else. So they go into the darkest of areas to rescue and to save people. So having a goal in front of their soldiers that have seen horrific things keeps them focused and not having to suffer from the PTSD. But it would be the same thing with the kids that have gone through very traumatic things, the men and women who have gone through very traumatic things. And it's the same thing if you've had a stroke or another disability, that if you're helping somebody else, it gives purpose and drive forward. Does that make sense?
I was going to stroke survivor, just because I always get to this point in my mind and my brain, like, this could happen to me again. I could go back into this stage, you know, of
Yep.
feeling helpless and feeling like I can't do certain things. And that always weighs heavy on my mind.
So, how do you stop that from happening, Ian?
I'll be honest, what I do, and this is one of the things that you helped our family with, and that's just, I leave it at the foot of the cross, and I really called on God personally to help me take this battle.
So, a lot of times, the storms that we have were, so PTSD is nothing more than fear itself. Would that be correct to say?
Yeah.
Right? And so when you are, so what Ian just said is that he is afraid that he is going to have another stroke and go backwards to where he has climbed out of. Just I'm not putting words in your mouth, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Exactly right.
But so where is his, oh, thank you. Where is his eyes when he is fearful?
Downward.
It's on the storm. Would we all agree there? When we focus on the storm, it brings us fear, right? But if we were to focus on the direction we're going, let's say this. I'm in the storm with you, Ian, and I fall out of the boat. What is your focus on now? It's not the storm? Do you guys see how that works? So as long as we keep our focus on what we're fearing instead of the people around us, it's really amazing that let's look at the stroke itself. So my back kind of hurts. Does anyone have pity for me? No.
Sorry.
I do.
No.
I like what Rick Warren says about storms.
What does he say?
He says, at any point in our life, we're either in the middle of a storm, about ready to come into a storm, about ready to come out of a storm. And how we react to that is how we're going to respond to it.
Here's a Middle Eastern thing that'll sum that up. So this is a Bedouin story. What do you call it? Tale? So there is a beast, and he's chasing a young man. And the young man is running from the beast, and he comes to a cliff, and the beast is upon him. So he jumps over the cliff, but halfway down the cliff, he grabs a hold of a vine. And he's safe. And he looks up, and the beast is hovering over him. So he starts to lower himself down, but he looks down, and there's a beast below him. So he holds on. He wraps himself around this vine. Then he looks up again, and he sees these two little mice eating the vine. He can't go up, and he can't go down. And sooner or later, the mice are going to eat the vine, and he's going to fall. Then he looks over at the side of the cliff, and there's a strawberry plant, and it has these ripe red strawberries on it. And he takes one of the strawberries and he eats it, and it's the most amazing strawberry that he's ever had. Does anyone know the lesson in this? The vine is life. And no matter what, we're going to have beasts that are going to, sooner or later, we're always going to face beasts. And the mice are time. There's going to be a time in our life, the time runs out. There's nothing he can do about the mice. Sooner or later, our vine, life, is going to end. What I want to instill upon it is where we're at holding on in life, because life is about holding on. We have to enjoy the moment and eat the strawberries.
Yep.
each one of us has a time in our life right now that there is so much to be thankful for and good around us if we're not focused on the beasts, which in this scenario we call the storm.
Yeah,
So-
just like yesterday, so many things have been like not fun at our house.
Yep.
But then whenever I talked to you yesterday about, firming up everything today, and I started going through the list of everything that has been going good in our life, it made me smile. And I was like, wow, there's so much good that's happening for our family right now, for our lives, and the bad stuff, we can put that aside because we have a list of good things.
We're going to stop looking at the storms and the beasts, and we're going to start looking for strawberries.
Yes.
And that's kind of a silly story, right? But in truth, as we go about our days, we need to be thankful for the things. Now I'm going to go over just some real quick things, right? I think I am.
I think one of the things we have to remember too is don't do the what ifs.
Hmm.
What ifs might never come. So just think of the good things and forget about the what ifs.
What? No, I'm a firm believer because I'm a worst case scenario guy. I always do the worst case scenario, and then I figure out how I can live with it, and then if that's it. Like my folks, we can live in a teepee. I told my wife, we went through a pretty bad financial time once upon a time, and I convinced my wife that we could live in a teepee and I could live off the land. I've done it before. And she goes, okay. Everything else that happened around that worked. Hey, so one of the things that we need to make sure that we're not doing is comparing ourselves. We need to make sure that Ian's step, Ian's progress isn't how we compare our progress, good or bad.
Thief of joy.
Yes, it is. Comparison is a thief of joy. Thank you, because I like that. Also, we need to be documenting our progress. Are we taking time to document our progress? Where were we? And now we're here. Have you ever been here and you go, I'm not getting anywhere. But if you could go back to here, you'd be going, oh, if I could just make it there. And can I be honest? Sometimes maybe it's there.
When we greeted Sagebrush,
Yeah.
whenever I see a person on a cane, I said, I've been where you're at. And I said, I'll be praying for him because I said, prayer works wonders.
Letting someone know that you've already made it from where they're at is not comparison. Hey, I've been there. It took me a long time, but now I'm here. For each and every one of you, I want you to document where you've been. But Clay, it's not, one of the things that struck me was it says that, so generally, right, if you were to come train with me at the gym, I'd push you hard. I'd be like, push, 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 push. Pain is weakness leaving the body. My research with stroke victims is you can't overdo it. It'll set you back. So for me, if putting myself in your shoes, which is hard for me to do, and I'm not saying I understand, but I know for me, I would try to push. But if knowing that I have to take a step back instead of a step forward, you got to slow down. You got to take that time. You have to make sure you're getting the rest and the diets, the dieting, the proper eating. So you can't just push yourself. That's funny. So you
She's always pushing, goes, push yourself, push yourself.
can't push yourself. No, I didn't know.
I like to term, I'm pacing myself.
No, I think cake is good. It's good for the soul.
I like that quote that you just said, pain is weakness leaving the body.
Yes,
I like that.
I do too. My point though is that you can't push yourself that hard. You know, studies have been done for the regular person. You ever seen the really big guys in the gym or the super fit girls in the gym, and they push themselves beyond the pain. That's more of a mental thing, because for the body, you actually supposed to only push yourself not to failure, but to like a tiredness. And people are pushing themselves here, and they're actually doing themselves more disservice. So if you take that to an extreme, someone that's suffered from a stroke, you have to push yourself, but you gotta know when to stop and take that rest. So I'm going to encourage you. There's a rest, and in that rest you can find peace. That slower pace, take advantage of it. Journal. Does everyone here journal?
Every day.
Okay, please journal. That's how we're going to know where we were at and where we're going. Good?
I got it all up here.
No, stop. Write it down, please. Make room for your feelings. I have a hard time expressing my feeling. Make room for your feelings. And then always reach for hope. Can we just be truthful where we're at in our feelings? And I'm famous for saying that feelings lie. But can I tell you that feelings are also real? What we need to do is take our feeling and then compare it to what is true. Continue to plug into positive support. You guys are doing it. You're here. Focus on the small things. And then reach out for help and treat your disability as a responsibility. Treat your disability as a responsibility. You guys have a responsibility to one another and to your caregiver and to the people who love you and to yourself to be responsible and to make sure you're making those progress steps. Okay, so you guys have cards and it has a number on it. People would rather sit next to people that they don't like than the people they don't know. Now, everyone in here probably knows each other. I speak to hundreds of people, and in those kind of group settings, it's good to mix it up. But if you go to, who has a 1 on theirs? So we're going to team up with the 1s. Just kind of, can you guys?
I don't have a number, I got a letter, I got a C. I did.
Yours is probably a 2. And then your 2s get together and 3s get together. Are you making fun of me? Yeah, that's a 2.
Is this what you said? You said teach your disability and make it a responsibility? Was that your word?
Okay.
Make your disability a responsibility.
Okay, we're gonna go, 2s are gonna go by Mary.
Can the threes come?
3s are going to that corner.
Okay, how about ones go over that corner?
1s to this corner.
Okay, and so
You're awesome.
2 is right around here. What number are you, Paul?
Situational awareness. I see it.
We tried.
We're in the 3.
Where are you at?
I'm surprised you didn't bring a cheeseburger. Well, they did, you don't bring cheeseburgers for everybody.
Where are the threes?
Right here.
Emily.
No, 3s are on that corner.
Ones over.
1's on this corner.
You're 3, you're going over by Emily. Twos.
What number are you, young lady? 3. That corner. We all good? I want you guys to think of one thing that you can do this week to help somebody else in your group.
Say that again.
It's okay. I want you guys to come up with one thing as a group that you could do to help somebody else in your group. And this would be something that I'm gonna ask you out loud.
There we go, done. Yeah, we already done. Ruth gave up her
Good. Come up with something that we can speak to the entire group. So you guys are going to come up with something that we can speak to the entire group that we can put into play. It's got to be practical and real. And then I got more for you. So that one shouldn't take very long.
I'm struggling with understanding it.
What's one thing that everyone could do? Like if I could give you an instruction, I wrote down it after you write it down on your card, it's an instruction that how could you help the other people in this room practically. I'm all about practicality. So if you're practical about something like what's the answer, but how is it practically?
You could smile, and that will uplift.
You guys talk. It's something that you can do practically to lift each other up. And I'm going to get that some cake.
Well, we just made it. It is fabulous cake.
Thank you, by the way. What number are you?
To solve a problem out there. What are we supposed to write on here?
Go to your group number. Who's group number 1?
I want to be a different group. I want a different group. Not my sisters in that group, so.
Oh, just jump in.
I'll go to, yeah.
And then all we're doing is what could you come up with that everybody could do to help each other in the room?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Welcome everyone to make their day better.
Are you left-handed or right? Yeah, now you're left-handed.
What did you guys come up with?
We're right-handed.
We'll give somebody a ride here.
Awesome. So you're group 1, right? Group 1 came up with give somebody a ride
To here,
to here.
Yeah,
to pick somebody up.
to the meeting.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. What did you guys come up with?
I said welcome everyone every day to make their day better.
Okay.
I put listening and being present.
That's important, right?
Be courteous and listen to each person.
Awesome.
I say pray.
I said pray for everyone.
You guys said that? What'd you guys come up with?
I think, I think just briefly is help to understand resentment, and also with that try to get back to something that is actually joyful or fun.
Look for the strawberry.
Pseudo-normal.
You forget to have fun.
Speaking of strawberries, what can one strawberry say to the other one?
What?
How'd I get in this jam?
That's awesome. Okay. Second thing you guys are going to write down is an individual obtainable dream.
For yourself?
For you. You don't have to write. It's just a lesson. You can. What's a dream that you have?
That we,
No, you.
for myself,
Right now. A big dream.
You mean, are we doing like,
Like you can't, I don't want you to come up with superpowers and be able to fly, but you can write that.
I want to be in Hawaii with those other.
I want to get away with a friend of mine that we've been friends for 45 years.
I want you to write it down. If you have a dream that you're not doing that you could do, what is it? What's a dream? You already got your dream down? We'll start with you. What's your dream?
I want a speaking role in a movie. I work in the industry now that we're on strike. I get to go back to work. And
I have some connections. Oh, send me your stuff. Speaking role. What's a dream?
Play golf every day.
Okay. And what's keeping you from doing that?
Money.
Is that the only thing that's keeping you from doing it? What's a dream you have? Okay, I need you to have a dream. Why is having a dream important? Yep, super important, guys.
forward to.
I'm coming back to you. I'm coming back to you on a dream.
Country you haven't been to.
But that's not a dream. Being rich and famous isn't a dream. It's what you can do with the rich. And if you were rich and famous, what would you do with the money? Right, so now you don't have money no more. What's your dream?
Okay, to go to London, England, and
Travel to England. Okay. And what's stopping you from doing that?
I can't put it together.
There are
You
people
can.
around you that will help you. I can show you how to get a passport. That's easy.
I have a passport.
What's your dream?
Stopping it.
My dream is to take the longest zip line in the world and be able to see the water below me and the trees that I'm going through.
I just met the ambassador of Costa Rica.
Shut up.
I was from her to, I didn't get it.
Yes, it
Really,
does.
do they?
So write that down, Costa Rica.
Yeah, I didn't put Costa Rica.
But Costa
I put
Rica.
zip line.
What's your dream?
My dream is to help people get out of debt.
Out of debt.
Yeah.
And what's keeping you from doing that?
I don't know where to start. I've always.
I need you to write it down.
I've always had big dreams. Even like if I wanted to paint my house, I just getting that started. Don't know where to start.
I'm going to start by writing it down. Dream.
I'm going to travel East Asia for a year.
You're going to. Done. That's what I want to hear.
Leaving.
Well, I have two, but one's actually come true. I wanted to be able to feed all of the men in my church group so that their kids didn't have to go with food.
That's amazing.
And so I started a ministry, and we call it our paper bag ministry, and we feed 8 families every week, and then another 8 families the following week.
And what's your other dream? I want a selfish dream.
This is my selfish dream, is to have a cabin in the mountains.
I don't need to ask you what's stopping it. But we got to work towards it. Your dream.
I have been through a lot more than the stroke, and so I would like to heal myself and then heal other people that have been through the things I've been through.
I want you to start working on healing others, and you will find healing in yourself.
Yep.
Got me? Sir? Dream.
Be happy all the time.
Okay? And what's keeping you from that?
I'm just nothing. I'm just trying to be happy.
Okay? And what's keeping you from that?
My stroke.
Time. A little time.
I'm getting better.
No, emotions are good. Here's what I want to tell you.
Walk for 15 minutes now. I want to be able to walk and not have to sit in this chair.
So 15 minutes you can walk? So what's the next step?
Half an hour, 20 minutes.
16 minutes. Are you with me? And the reason is because
It's like me and my, hold on.
it's okay.
I didn't start being able to do stuff 2 years after my stroke. That's when I started healing.
Yep.
It wasn't like when you have a stroke, they want you to be well in within 6 months. The doctor say, oh, you could, whatever's gonna happen is gonna be within 6 months. It's not.
No, the studies show 2 to 3 years, and that's not even. That's when it starts.
done it.
What's your dream?
We walked a 5K together.
Okay, what's your next dream?
Don't have one yet.
No. I'm coming back to you. Write down your next dream because you can't give me one you've already done. What's your dream?
Long vacation far away.
Where's that?
Anywhere far away. You know, I really don't care.
Well, there's like Antarctica.
Yeah, well,
Do you wanna be in a warm place?
Okay, write down where you want to be. I want you to dream it.
okay.
There's a reason for this. What's your dream?
I wanna live in Cancun.
You know, I
You do know.
think I've quit dreaming.
No. You don't get to quit dreaming with me. I'm coming back to you too. You don't get to quit dreaming on my watch. What's your dream?
I wanna live in Cancun,
Okay, live there?
where people don't complain about me wearing shorts 3
No, dude, I've seen your legs. They're still going to complain.
You gotta remember what time of year it is. But
You gotta watch out.
I told you I wear.
So good. They have different Christmases and like there's vacations you can take just for Christmas.
Yeah, would you like to go?
So why are you not doing that?
Finances.
Okay. So how do we fix that?
I work harder.
How much does it cost to do that? So you don't know that you can't do it.
I know that I can do it if I really wanted to. I just know that it's not responsible. I have a kid graduating from college in a few weeks. And
Okay.
then
Trust me, I'm coming back on you. But I love that. It's a great dream. Dream?
Mine is to go on a trip where I can rest and someone can take care of me.
Okay. What's keeping you from doing that?
I feel like everyone says finances, but I also think like responsibilities, but also dealing with the guilt.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. What's your dream?
I thought I was doing so good.
You are doing good.
Well, we had
Where's it at? Where are we going?
England, Scotland, Wales, but before that we had a Baltic cruise, and COVID happened, and then we had a stroke, and we had a trip to England, Scotland, Wales. It got postponed, so
Oh, it's postponed. So you're actually going.
we're going.
Good. No, I'm good. Dream. Okay. Do you want to go up in a hot air balloon? Do you want to take a zip line? Do you want to hike the Grand Canyon? Do you want to go on a trip? Do you want to learn how to cook? Do you want to come on?
I'd like to learn how to cook again, because I used to know, now I don't.
Now, La Modi.
That cake, you're a liar.
Okay. So here's my point with the dream. Some people have a difficult time with a dream, and you guys are coming up with pretty lame excuses on why you're not achieving your dream.
Even the guilt thing, you didn't like it?
Oh, don't give me guilt. It ain't guilting me.
I'll volunteer to be the person who takes you away and take care of you.
What-
So you don't even get where you want to go.
What did I say about the caregiver taking care of themselves? Okay? What did I say about the caregiver not taking care of themselves? Quit putting the mask on the child while you pass out.
They need to be poured into, or else they're no good to anybody.
Okay. So here's now why is it important to the person that has suffered the stroke? Oh, hope. Hope for a better future, right? Can I just tell you this? Quit giving me lame excuses on why you can't go do your dream.
I didn't. I just don't know all the right people yet.
No, we're going to take care of that.
Use the word yet.
No, but you got to get active.
I'm already active. I have 3 days booked already. I just don't have the speaking role yet.
No, we got it. Because that's going to work there. You're going to go up to them and say, hey, my character don't got no speaking roles.
And they'll be, no, because that's because your background.
I know, but I'd want to be a speaking role. I'm going to get you with a couple people. I mean that.
I'm going to hold you to it then.
No, I'm good. What did you say? Why you can't go do your thing? Yeah, I'm good in front of everyone. Oh, okay, but you got a child getting ready to graduate.
I also,
Let me give you an example, and I'm calling you out, is that she can't afford to go, but she doesn't know the price to go.
Yes, I do.
Okay, you do.
I really do, yeah, I look all
I'm
the
calling
time.
her out.
Yeah, I look at the prices all the time, but it's just.
What I want you to do is take a little aside, knowing that you can do it. Tell me your dream again. Walking. And she can walk 15 minutes today. Is that right?
More or less, yeah.
No, that's good. I don't care if it was 10. The fact is that you're already up and about, which is how much further than 2 years ago?
2 years I couldn't walk.
Oh, so 2 years ago you couldn't walk, but today you can walk 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, maybe 15 minutes, right? But can we just look? Why do we look at the future? Why is that a dream?
Because I'm tired of being in a chair.
Got it. And you're sick and tired of being in that chair, right? And there's no difference between a dream of walking for 5 hours. What's walking?
Why do I have to sit in my chair?
No, okay. So no more chair. Is the cane count?
No.
Nope, no cane.
No, I use my cane to walk with.
Oh, no, but what's the dream?
I want to be out of my chair. No cane. No chair.
No chair.
No chair.
Okay, everyone got me on this? Now, how important is that dream?
Very
Huge. I don't care what your dream is. By the way, if I pick on you, I think you can handle it. The fact is that if you have a dream, why did I make you write it down? Because it becomes real. I don't even want you to have a dream. I want you to have goals. I want you to have something that you're working towards. I don't care if you're putting $1 a week away for something that you someday want to do, then put $1 a week away, whatever it is. What I don't want you to do is, I wish I coulda, shoulda, when it's too late. Because I don't care what we talk about, there are mice gnawing at our vines. Yes? And if we don't do it now, we might not be able to do it later. I want you to set lofty dreams that you don't think you can hit. I want you to aim at the stars and not the moon. And when you can't make it to the stars and you've already passed the moon, you're so much further than what you would have been if you just would have aimed at the moon. Most people don't hit their dreams because they ain't setting them. How many of you guys in the last week have used your stroke as an excuse? Now let me say this. You not being able to walk for an hour, your stroke is not an excuse, that's a reality. You with me? Just throwing it out there. How many of you have used you have, haven't you? That's okay.
But my reality.
But you didn't have a reality in it. You used it as an excuse.
No, but it's
You've used it as an
but
excuse.
Still in
I think I
reality.
have.
I know I have, but there's still reality in the excuse.
There is. You know what an excuse is? It's a truth that wraps a lie that you tell yourself.
This isn't wrapping a lie though.
Okay? Then it wasn't. There's either reality. The stroke kept you from doing something. I got it. I'm talking about as an excuse. You told yourself that you couldn't do this because you had a stroke.
No. For
Yeah.
me, it's no.
No. The way you said it earlier, you were confident in the fact you used it as an excuse. And you want to know something? I believe you over you right now. Because this is what I want to get at. If you have disabilities due to a stroke that you can't do something, that's not an excuse.
Okay.
But don't use the stroke to talk yourself out of following dreams that maybe if you were to push yourself, you could do. Now remember what I said about pushing yourself? We're not talking about, I'm going to run for 5 miles. I'm talking about if many of you guys want to go some really cool place. Figure it out. Here's the thing. I'm going to be broke because I travel so much. I travel 2 or 3 times a year, but I sacrifice here so I can do Europe. I sacrifice here so I can go to Uganda, so I can go to Puerto Vallarta. Who's going to Cancun? Who said Cancun? Right? Where they don't make fun of your legs, which ain't going to happen, but it's okay. You'll be there in shorts. Do you know, and you...
Do you know how to speak Spanish? Okay, doesn't matter then. You don't know what...
Yeah, you don't know what they're saying.
They can talk all they want. Just give me my cheeseburger.
How do you say chicken legs in Spanish? Come on, help me.
Guess what time of year it is anyway?
Do you know that in Uganda that only children and prisoners wear shorts? That's real.
Well, you know, my survivor, he says things like, I'm going to call him out. My survivor says, I can't do this because I have damage to my frontal lobe. It's his favorite thing.
Okay, but is that an excuse?
I don't know, man. I'm tired.
No, I think it's an excuse, Ian. I think it's both.
I mean, sometimes it's a real reality, and sometimes, you know, I push myself and I feel like I can do a lot of things, but sometimes I'm hindered in what I can accomplish.
100%, right?
Today, I'll give you an example. You know, I've started a job, our own company, and we go out there, and I have 2 techs that work for me, and I told them what I needed, but I never told them what the stock numbers and stuff, just because I failed to write them down.
I get that, but here's what I would tell you for you, that as your employee, because now I'm going to put myself in, the next time you do it, you need to write the stock numbers down. Am I clear?
Right.
You got it, right? So what? As your employee, I can go out and get the doggone stock numbers. If I'm a good employee, I'm going to be held to that accountability.
It's just that I took it upon myself.
No, I got it. Don't be so hard on yourself. So we're going to follow our dreams, and we're not going to be so hard on ourselves when we fail. Because if you do what I'm asking you to do, I expect you to fail more than you succeed. I'm going to have to let you guys go. I'm going to be super respectful of your time, even though I'm 15 minutes over.
Oh, you're fine.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't be so hard. If you ain't failing, then you ain't doing enough. If you're not failing, then shame on you. You should fail 10 times more than you succeed. But when you succeed, you relish it? Relish. Say it. Say it out loud. So there's the word. You guys with me? It's your dreams. You're going where again? England.
Crazy.
No, you're going England, right?
Yeah.
And Scotland.
He has a cruise.
And Ireland. When's that happening?
England, Scotland, Wales.
Okay. When is that happening? No, that doesn't work for me.
When he comes back from crazy.
Yeah.
A year from now?
No, we're thinking springtime.
Okay, so it happens short. Acting. You do that today.
I actually am booked for 3 days. in
No,
December.
if I made a phone call and they said I got a speaking role, you'd go there now. Right? That's what I'm saying. So we're going to do that. Who else has a dream they don't think they can do? How about walking? If it took a year for you to walk for an hour, are you good? Right? And if it took 2 years for 2 miles, for 2 hours.
As long as I try every day.
Here's the thing. I'm so proud of you for that's your goal. But we're all going to celebrate. Everyone paying attention? Because I won't be here. You're all going to celebrate. You're going to call me up.
The day I walk in here,
You're going to walk in here without your thing, and we're going to have a party.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
Everyone's going to. But you guys, why did I have you write it down? Because it made it real. Why are you telling each other?
it makes it real.
Oh, because it's real and now you're accountable.
Yeah.
So people in your group, tell each other your dreams, and then we're going to call it a night. I'll talk forever. Like my wife said, how are you going to do an hour with 1 page of notes? I said, watch me. Do you guys get the importance of the dream?
many of us have given that up.
And I'm also going to tell you the importance of not letting excuses control you. And I don't care if you've had a stroke, you haven't had a stroke, if you're going through hard things in life, quit making up excuses. Things you can't do, things that strokes absolutely make it so you can't do it, I get it. But make sure that you're not making excuses. If you're a caregiver, I am not going to hear that guilt is an excuse for you not taking care of yourself. Because if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't take care of the person who is going through the stroke. The other thing is, it will help you to deal with the BS.
And guilt's the gift that keeps on giving.
Don't give guilt a chance. Guilt is not of God, just so you know. It ain't.
I don't wanna put words in your mouth, but.
You can say anything you want.
Sounds like you're saying, look in the windshield, not the rear view mirror.
Yep.
Windshield's a lot bigger and the rear view mirror is small.
The answer is yes, you're 100% correct, but I do want you to look back where you came from to know the progress that you've made.
That's how come the
That's
mirror's
the
only like.
journal. Yeah.
I want you to go to your journal, and when you start getting down, Ian, let me just share something with you who had a bad week. You mind if I share that? No. Bad week, right? If I could take you back 2 years, if I could take you back a year ago, so I'm going to transport, because I have this time machine, and I'm going to take Ian back to himself a year ago, when he's in the middle of a mental crisis. By the way, everyone goes through them. Everyone goes through them, right? But I'm going to take him back. Ian, come on back with me. And I'm going to take you back and I'm going to show you a year ago who Ian was. Oh, man, all this BS that you're complaining about now, you know what?
I do have a lot to be grateful for.
And a year from now, Ian, if I could take you to the future you, transport, and show you what you have to look forward to, a lot of the things that you're dealing with, and just so you know, if he's dealing with them, we're all dealing with them, right? If I could take you and show you your future self, oh, man, it's all worth it. I don't know why I'm bitching, griping, complaining now when I know that that's where I'm going to get to. And when I get there, I'm going to walk into this room and we're going to have a party, huh? I'll cater it. Oh,
You know, as I sit here, and I think like Lori and I, we have like a lot of resentment, but now that I know her dream and I know my dream, and we come from this two of the same places of resentment, like I want to team up with my sister right here and us do our dream together.
good.
Because her and I, like I feel like her and I are saying the same thing. We're talking about guilt. We're talking about resentment.
Yeah, I ain't going to let you be guilty.
I know. And so now I'm like, you know what? I have her right here, and I know that her and our dreams are similar.
If anyone has to go, I don't take it rude because I'm so far past, but go. But I also want to be here for any questions and things. So if you need to go somewhere, the meeting's over. But if you guys have questions or anything that you want to talk about, let's talk about them. That's a nice thing about me. You guys know I'm unemployed now, right?
Yeah.
I just quit my job.
Did you do new or used?
I did both.
I know, I
Yeah,
met you
he's-
somewhere down the road.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah.
I meet people all around.
He's the best Toyota guy in the city, and also pretty much everywhere.
I did Ford for 55 years.
I like Ford. We could get to on a whole other conversation about that.
What's your dream?
I'm starting to live my dream. So the reason I quit my job is that I have a dream to teach. I do leadership and success training. So it really is a foundation of finding out who you are, because you got to know yourself to lead others. And I'm really excited about getting out into the world, and I'm writing some books. So when here you asked, hold on. So when my daughter, who is now 26, 27, 28, whatever she is, when she was little, I used to tell her Hannah's Patches story. And it was about a little girl who was raised on a farm, and then they'd bring in the produce, and she had patches on her dress. And then at the end of the story, I have 100,000 words. And I'm dyslexic, and I have about a 3rd grade reading level. This is real. But I just finished the book with 100,000 words. But at the end of the book, it's called Hannah's Patches. She marries the prince, and as she walks down the streets of the kingdom, she has patches on her dress. And it really is a woman empowering. She's a really badass warrior in the movie. Completely side note, to have a powerful woman, movies today make it so they're against an inferior man. And in the book, you have both sides are powerful, which makes a female more powerful. But my daughters, so all I can have is girls because I'm an X-Man. So I'm writing books now. And if you ask my wife, with the 3rd grade reading, spelling, there's a lot of corrections that need to happen. So that's what I'm doing. Thank you for asking. Anyone got a question, a comment?
You were talking about writing a book, and I wanted to actually add to my dream because I want to write my life story. Because I've been through, like I said, I've been through more than just the stroke. I feel like the stroke was like the cherry on top or something for me.
Okay, so have you started writing?
No.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to tell you. Start writing.
Do I just get a notebook and just like, because I have notebooks from way back.
I write on my phone or on the thing, whatever this thing's called. Yeah, whatever. But here's the thing. I don't care how you do it. You can write on napkins if you want to, but until you start, you'll never finish. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So start.
Once you speak, you can speak into your phone, and then you can go back and read through it and make corrections. And that's how I was going to share with you. That's how my wife and I wrote this story about our princess, our grand princess coming in January.
It's a legacy. So my story, and I know your story, is going to be a legacy for my family. I didn't write it to make money, but I am hiring a professional publisher, illustrator, and editor to do it. If you're going to do it right. So after you write it, after you're halfway done, get with me. I have a company that does illustration, coaching, everything, and they're a 1/3 the price of people who just do the publishing.
We need to really talk.
You going to write a book too?
No, it's already sitting on Amazon.
They do help you with marketing.
Not enough, I guess. I can see the look on your face.
I didn't expect it to
Did
go-
you do self-publish?
Yes, on Amazon. I have a Kindle book.
Okay, I'm going to get it. Let's do it now. I'll do it right after I do that. She thinks I'm kidding. I'm going to.
Oh no, he's serious.
This is how I live my life.
It's a children's book. It's an anti-bullying book about elephants.
I'm in.
That's why I have the elephant purse and
So look up Eric, write this down, Eric Martinez.
I'm not going anywhere.
Just look him up. He's an actor. I've known him since he was a fry cook at Hooters. He knows the old me. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Damn car people.
No, that was before I was a car guy. I'm surprised yeah.
Burying bodies before you were a car guy? Is that what I just heard?
yes, pretty much.
That's what I heard.
I was pretty dark for a long time. That's a whole other story. I'll be more than glad to tell you. You're just not going to tell you about that part of it because there is no statute of limitation. That's not funny.
No, that's honest.
I got to.
So what's your elephant book about? I got one too.
It's an
You know one thing about strokes?
Anti-bullying.
Tell me.
So Mike
For
said
me,
allergies to peanuts and they got picked on.
God used a
Now I
stroke
wanted
to
to write
make
a
me
book
the man
about
I am.
elephants.
You know, I've heard that more than once.
I think in my case too, I think it altered my mind in a positive way, and it gave me a personal relationship with God that I didn't have before.
I think sometimes a disability, right, of any kind can strip us of the pride that builds walls.
And I'm not saying that I didn't pray to God, but I didn't have a personal relationship like I do today.
Nope, I agree. Elephant book.
You want me to pass?
Yeah, so this is my podcast. It's inspiration, guidance, strength found through the journey and stories of others, and I do it for fun. You okay? You got something you want to say? Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah, I want you to say it.
Have you heard of the book Keep on Dancing?
I have not.
Check it out. First half, short book, very cheap, $4.
And what's the name of your elephant book?
A Tribe Called Quest. A Tribe Called Quest.
No, I'll buy it tonight on my way home.
Thank you. I have to go. Thank you very much.
God bless you. Anything you need.
I got your card.
Thank you.
I told you about my project, right?
Tell me.
Historical trauma, alcohol, and Indian born disorders, that generational curse.
Oh, it's horrible. You know, I grew. I was as much. I'm not native. I'm super white.
Montana.
But my first girlfriends, I got beat up by AIM more than most men. That's not jokes. When I'd go pick up my girlfriend on the reservation, I'd get the shit kicked out of me.
Well, I'm writing about
AIM, American Indian Movement. He knows, but I understand.
Before we go,
I was also, I didn't get it bad.
Clayton,
Sorry.
I'd like to say thank you to you for coming tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.
But I like to visit with you sometime. I'll call you.
Thank you.
Thanks for dreaming.
I like to visit with you. I'll call you sometime.
Okay, good.
You're making me dream.
No, we're all going to dream, and then we're going to do our dreams.
Bring